Welcome to my channel. Tonight we are plunging into the tumultuous world of pirates. Brace yourselves for pirates, terror of the high seas. The salty winds of adventure call, and we are all aboard to unfurl the tales that have made these swashbucklers infamous. From the sun-drenched Caribbean to the mist-laden coasts of the North Sea, we'll be navigating treacherous waters and unmasking the secrets of their timeless allure. So hoist the colors high and join us as we chart a course through the myths, battles, and hidden treasures that have secured the pirates' place in history. We begin our voyage with the age that truly set the seas ablaze, the Golden Age of Piracy. Stretching from the 17th to 18th centuries, this era was the crescendo of maritime lawlessness. Let's start with the Caribbean, the cradle of pirate lore. Why? Because the Caribbean was a hotbed of activity during the Golden Age of Piracy. Its scattered islands provided ample hiding spots for these rogues, allowing them to escape pursuing authorities or use the islands as bases for their operations. And speaking of operations, let's talk about the Nassau Treaty of 1701. It was a pivotal moment in pirate history, an agreement signed between rival pirate captains in the Bahamas to foster unity and prevent bloodshed among themselves. In essence, it established the golden age of piracy in the Bahamas. What were its main points? The treaty mandated the avoidance of violence between fellow privateers and pirates, outlawing raids on one another's vessels or settlements. It also set rules for how captured ships and treasure were to be dealt with, often requiring permission before redistribution. This led to a more stable environment on the high seas and contributed significantly to the wealth and longevity of many pirates. And who could forget Port Royal, Jamaica, the infamous port town that during the late 1600s became a haven for pirates. Located on the south coast of Jamaica, Port Royal was strategically situated near major shipping routes. The settlement began as a small fishing village but quickly grew due to its natural harbor. However, it was the arrival of pirates that turned Port Royal into a notorious hotspot. The town was notorious for its lawlessness, offering a safe haven for pirates to sell their plunder. Here, looted goods from Spanish galleons were traded openly and widely. Next, let's weigh anchor and set sail for the treasure-laden waters of the Indian Ocean. Known as the Somali pirates, they were not a product of the Golden Age of Piracy, but rather a modern phenomenon. Operating since the 90s, these pirates have made headlines worldwide with their audacious attacks on commercial vessels. Their methods are as diverse as their targets, ranging from hijacking fully laden cargo ships to holding tankers hostage until ransoms are paid. But why do they do it? These pirates are driven by a blend of desperation and opportunity. Operating from bases in Somalia, they target ships traversing the Gulf of Aden and the coast of Somalia. With a lack of effective governance in many coastal regions, these waters become a lawless zone, perfect for illicit activities. Their tactics evolved from small-scale fishing boat raids to large-scale operations involving motherships, speedboats, and even helicopters. It's a lucrative business. Millions of dollars in ransom and hijacked goods make this illegal trade more profitable than legal ventures in many parts of Somalia. Now let's turn to the men and women whose names strike fear into the hearts of sailors, the legendary pirate figures of the Golden Age. First, meet Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard. Born in England around 1680, Blackbeard became one of the most notorious pirates of the Caribbean. He is credited with pillaging on riches across the West Indies and along the American and European coasts. His demise came in a battle with British naval forces off the coast of North Carolina in 1718. Blackbeard's head was cut off and hung from the bowsprit of the ship that had captured him as a warning to other would-be pirates. Then there's Henry Morgan. This Welshman was one of the most successful privateers and pirates of the Golden Age. Commissioned by the English government, he targeted Spanish possessions in the Caribbean. He plundered cities, amassed fortune, and was knighted for his efforts. His reputation was tarnished, however, by his brutality and the enslavement of natives. After a stint as Jamaica's lieutenant governor, he returned to piracy later in life. Next up is Qing Shi. The Chinese pirate was born in 1775 and grew up in poverty. He turned to banditry and eventually piracy, amassing a fleet of over 200 junks and ruling over an empire of some 200,000 pirates. His reign lasted nearly 2 decades, pillaging on riches across the South China Sea. Despite his feared reputation, he was eventually pardoned by the Chinese government and given noble status. Last but not least, Anne Bonny. She was an Irish pirate who lived in the early 18th century. Bonny left Ireland with her lover, Calico Jack Rackham, and together they terrorized the Caribbean. Her story, marked by adventure and daring, was immortalized in tales of the Golden Age of Piracy. As we navigate further into the heart of the Golden Age of Piracy, we encounter the very tools of their trade, the pirate ships. They were more than just vessels. They were instruments of terror on the high seas. Our first encounter brings us face to face with the flagship of Henry Morgan, the Woodes Rogers. Named after its owner, Woodes Rogers was a swift and agile sloop, perfectly designed for the quick hit-and-run tactics favored by privateers. The ship's speed was its primary advantage, allowing it to easily outrun its prey and even outmaneuver larger vessels. But what truly made the Woodes Rogers formidable was its versatility. It was equally adept at shallow coastal waters as it was in the open ocean. Plus, its maneuverability allowed for both stealthy approaches and rapid assaults. Armed with swivel guns and long guns, this vessel was a floating arsenal. Imagine the scene. The sudden appearance of a rogue vessel, the Woodes Rogers, cutting through the waves, its cannons roaring as it unleashes a volley of fire upon unsuspecting merchant ships. The very sight of its sails must have sent chills down the spines of sailors across the seas. Our next stop brings us face to face with one of the most iconic pirate ships of all time, Blackbeard's flagship, the Queen Anne's Revenge. This ship, originally a French slave ship named Le Concorde, was captured by Blackbeard in 1717 and renamed. It was a massive vessel, fully equipped to carry 400 pirates, making it ideal for Blackbeard's ambitious raids. But it wasn't just the size that made the Queen Anne's Revenge such a formidable vessel. It was the sheer firepower it packed. The ship was equipped with 20 cannons, each capable of hurling massive cannonballs that could shatter a ship's hull with ease. And let's not forget about its maneuverability. Despite its size, the Queen Anne's Revenge was surprisingly agile, allowing Blackbeard to swiftly chase down fleeing ships or outmaneuver his pursuers. As we gaze upon the Queen Anne's Revenge, we can almost hear the thunderous roar of its cannons echoing across the waves. Its towering masts and billowing sails serve as a reminder of the might wielded by the infamous pirate captain. And now we shift our focus to the watery battlegrounds that witnessed death-defying duels and cunning strategies, famous naval battles and raids. One such clash unfolded off the coast of Cape Lopez in 1687 when Bartholomew Roberts, aka Black Bart, went head-to-head with Portuguese naval forces. Roberts, commanding 2 swift sloops, engaged a Portuguese frigate and 2 smaller vessels in a battle that lasted 3 hours. Despite being outnumbered, Roberts's fleet was victorious, capturing one of the Portuguese ships and sending the others fleeing. The spoils included an astonishing haul of over 1 million pieces of 8, solidifying Roberts's reputation as a master tactician. Another epic showdown occurred in 1722, when Captain Charles Johnson and his crew of buccaneers battled the Spanish galleon Nuestra Señora de las Mercedes off the coast of Brazil. Overwhelmed by the galleon's size and firepower, Johnson and his men retreated, regrouping under the cover of night. In the dead of the night, they returned, launching a surprise attack that resulted in the capture of the galleon. The prize, an unimaginable 36 tons of gold, silver, and emeralds, cementing this raid as one of the most successful of the age. These battles weren't just about brute force. They showcased strategic brilliance and daring tactics that continue to fascinate us today. We conclude our journey through the Golden Age of Piracy with the captivating tale of buried treasure. One of the most enduring legends associated with pirates is the mystery surrounding their hidden fortunes. From buried chests brimming with gold doubloons to secret coves concealing plundered riches, tales of pirates' hidden treasures have captivated our imaginations for centuries. One famous example is the supposed treasure of Captain Kidd, a Scottish privateer turned pirate who operated in the 17th century. Legend has it that he stashed away untold riches on an island in the Indian Ocean, with some accounts mentioning a massive chest filled with diamonds, rubies, and gold. While the exact location of Captain Kidd's treasure remains a secret, the allure of unearthing such bounty continues to entice adventurers and treasure hunters to this day. Pirates. Terror of the high seas leaves us with more questions than answers. As we watch the sun set on our journey through the Golden Age of Piracy, one sentiment rings clear. Pirates were more than just ruthless outlaws. They were products of their time, shaped by the socio-economic conditions that fueled their rise. Their defiance of authority and relentless pursuit of fortune continue to captivate us. In their stories, we see a reflection of our own desires for freedom and prosperity. But perhaps it's their humanity, their capacity for both great cruelty and unexpected compassion that truly makes them unforgettable. Remember, history isn't just in the past. It's alive in the stories we choose to remember. If you enjoyed this journey, hit the like button, leave a comment with the legend you'd want to see next, and subscribe so you never miss the next chapter of the past.